My friend Myrton died unexpectedly last month. We had been friends for 50 years. We were part of a group of high school friends that are still in touch to this day. What follows is a trail running adventure with me telling bits of his life story. Obviously, there is much more to his life than I can relate in a short video. Like his favorite Beatle was George Harrison, thus some of the music choices during the video. Or, as I found out during my drunken 20th birthday, Myrton was the loudest vomiter I had ever heard. After watching the video you are about to see, I realized that I embellished some of the stories a bit. Like Myrton had long hair, but not down to the middle of his back long. And there were other guys who had long hair in school, but he was the one that was known for it. Or that Myrton may have had proto-goth leanings, but he was also on the wrestling and track teams, where in typical Myrton fashion he chose to do the long and triple jumps because not many people wanted to do those things. I will remember Myrton as a kind soul with a piercing intellect who just never knew where he fit in a world that values normal. But when you were in his presence, you knew you were with someone unlike anyone you had ever met, and you were happy to have known him.
So we're here at Taughannock?
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 Hold on, let's think about this a moment. Okay, just kidding. We actually know how to pronounce it because we asked the people that work here.
How it's pronounced.
Yes.
And it's like organic except with a T. Taughannock.
There we go.
So we're at Taughannock State Park, and we're gonna do some running here.
Our friend Amelia recommended it.
Yeah.
And she's here actually right now working in the park office.
She works at the park, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to try this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna say, a childhood friend of mine died last week. So we're going to run in the woods and honor my friend Myrton.
And tell fun stories about it.
So I'll tell you the first story. Myrton was literally grew up in a little tiny settlement called Frog Holler. Yeah, Frog Holler. That's where Myrton is from.
It's true.
Yeah. So we'll tell you more stories as we go on.
Oh, wow. Holy crap. Look at that ice. That is beautiful.
Oh, it falls over. Look, we're here.
Oh, there we are. Okay, cool.
So we're going to run up to here. Maybe there's a bridge that goes around like this, and then we'll do this and then come back up.
Okay.
Another story about Myrton is that in Frog Holler, he grew up in a haunted house. His house was haunted. They could hear wood being chopped in the basement when there was no wood in the basement and there was no one down in the basement. Kids would hear things and look in closets and stuff. It was an interesting place to grow up.
So pretty.
That's like a nice trails you got here.
Yeah. Shame something happened to you.
No, that's not what I meant.
Well, you said it like that.
During the 70s in Lewis County, New York, where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of hippie things going on. It was mostly conservative. Myrton was the only guy that had like hair down to the middle of his back, and he had a pierced ear. He had an earring, and that was like unheard of. And that's what everyone would talk about when they talked about Myrton, was the long hair and the earring. So along with his long hair and earring, Myrton also always wore a long black overcoat and wanted to be a poet and loved Sylvia Plath. Not that Myrton was like goth before there was such a thing as goth, or
from a goth, he was goth before there were goths.
And because there wouldn't be a trail in Ithaca without some steps, we have some steps.
Steps!
When I got out of college, I moved to Houston, and about a year later, Myrton came down and he lived with me and my brother and my girlfriend, and we drove that year the 6 hours from Houston to New Orleans to go to Mardi Gras. We didn't sleep for 48 hours. We just drove out, we drove back. At Mardi Gras, there was this Christian rock band playing, and there was a whole bunch of born-again Christians out handing out pamphlets and stuff, and Myrton stopped to talk to a couple of them. Now he was very, I don't know if he was an atheist, agnostic, wasn't a big fan of the Catholic Church anyway, or Christianity in general. So he stopped to talk to a couple of them, and my girlfriend and I just were like, okay, he's doing what he's doing. We just watched the band. And then all of a sudden we see one of the two people he's talking to break away, go get somebody else, and come back, and the three of them were talking. So when it was all over, we asked Myrton what was going on, and he said that he had the two of them almost convinced to give up born-again Christianing and become an atheist, and they had to go grab like one of their supervisors to come over and bail them out because he was being that persuasive, talking them out of their religiosity. So that was a pretty interesting thing to have happen in the middle of Mardi Gras.
Detour. You know why? Because we gotta check out the cemetery.
$1844.
$1818. Wow. And we're out of the cemetery, back down to the main parking area, and look at this, there's a food truck here on the trail.
Our house-made focaccia bread is vegan.
Wow. is a really cool arch.
Carpe diem. Carp the day. No, seize the day, yeah.
By the way, we're on the gorge trail.
We're on the gorge trail, see? See how gorgy? So when the company I worked for in Houston sent me and my brother to New Orleans to open up a branch of the company there, Myrton decided to stay in Houston because he'd gotten a job at a bookstore. And yeah, for a poet, that's a great job, working at a bookstore. Within a year of being in Houston on his own, he had his own conversion experience, I guess, and became very, very hugely devoutly Catholic, which was such a surprise to everyone that knew him, but he was really happy, and so we were happy for him. It's at this point that I realized I left out part of the story. Firm in his commitment to his newfound Catholic faith and being who he was, he decided to become a monk. He was part of several monasteries in the US and Switzerland, but none of these were strict enough for him, and so he left to rejoin the secular world. So after being a monk for 10 or more years, it was decided that the monk life wasn't necessarily for Myrton, so he left. He banged around for a while. He got a job going from a monk to working in a circus, only Myrton. So he did that for years and years and years and years. And the circus travels by train. Myrton was around for so long. Myrton got his own train car. He was the only roustabout that had his own train car, and he just rode around on the train, setting up and taking down the circus and seeing the country. It was a job he really, really loved. Then a few years ago, the circus that Myrton was working for stopped touring and shut themselves down. For the past couple of years, Myrton has been kicking around trying to find the next adventure in his life. And unfortunately, last week the adventure ended, and it's going to be a much less unique world without Myrton in it.
Myrton, we'll miss you.
Yeah, we'll miss you, Myrton. And, you know, I don't know what to say after that.
Peace.
Later.